Taiana blocking. So Taiana serving. Talita blocking at the net. 3-time Olympian. Big legends of the sport. And Patricia gets us underway with a, well, unorthodox high line. Let's put it that way. Talita and Taiana 12-6 in their quarterfinal appearances. So they've won 12 quarterfinals. Lost 6. Anna Patricia and Rebecca 10 wins and 3 losses. That's the first point for Anna Patricia. This is actually the first time that Anna Patricia and Rebecca are playing an FIVB event in Mexico. That's because they weren't at Chetumal. It's because Taiana's at full stretch there. Taiana Lima. Missed serve from Rebecca. That was because Chetumal was at a part of the season that was a couple of months after the World Tour finals in Rome, and there was nothing following it, so it was very much out of season for the Brazilians, where the Brazilian Tour was going to be starting very soon, so they would have taken a bit of a rest. But for Talita and Taiana Lima, they placed 4th at Chetumal in 2020. Talita also took a 2nd place in Acapulco in 2006 with Renata Ribeiro. Lost the final to Kerry Walsh-Jennings and Misty May Trainer. That's okay, Misty May Trainer and Kerry Walsh-Jennings, only the most successful Olympic team in history. More points for the veterans, though. It's the veterans against the youngsters to see who will be going through to the semi-finals a little bit later on. Just looking to the line, scooping. Stood there waiting is Rebecca. Bit of a swing of the arms of it. Back set due to the wind, off the hands. Absolute hammer from Anna Patricia. Just making the block move. Especially in these conditions, the wind blowing. It's a bit of a side wind, so teams using to choose the back set to keep the ball in the hitting window. Anna Patricia, who had such a successful junior career with Duda, now playing with Rebecca, to play against Duda and Agatha a bit later on today. 2 good friends who have shared so many good experiences up against each other once again. 5-2. Taiana and Talita have taken the opening end here. They look very calm, don't they, as Taiana goes back to serve. Wins in Shanghai, because this is the 2nd time that this pairing have played together. 2013 they won in Shanghai, The Hague, Rome, Long Beach and Berlin, and what was a fantastic season for them. Talita then played with Larissa for a while. Great player, Larissa Franca. Still the most victorious player in World Tour history with 62 wins. Talita to serve. He started her beach volleyball career in 2001, playing with the absolute legendary Jackie Silva. Anna Patricia. Oh, big angles, but it's wide. It's a great swing. You have to give her an A for effort on that occasion, but she just over-rotates, turns it the wrong side of the sideline. Oh, it's a great swing, though, isn't it? Just because it's an error doesn't mean it's a bad effort. 7-3. Errors creeping in for Talita and Taiana Lima. Well, to get here, the team in green, the number 9 seeds, have had a battle against Greece, and what's quite funny, we'll come to that in just a moment. Great dig from Taiana, but it's out of play. Is that in that matchup between Talita, Balaziki, Arvaniti, you've got 2 of the most experienced players who have ever played the game when it comes to tournaments. That one's just out. Great start all round, but Arvaniti's played 101 competitions, Talita 180. So much experience on that court yesterday, but Brazil had to get past Greece, and they did it in 3, 15-12 in the last, but they are officially the 2 most experienced players to ever play the game on the World Tour. Knuckle over the top, and they're still going after 180 events. 8-6, second change events. Good setting, just stands the ball up, and then it's in that spot where Rebecca can really see the court, so she can make a decision to go one way or the other. Spin from Rebecca. We've seen that really be effective, and it works again because Taiana is way off the net. Completely takes away her options when she's going to swing at the ball. Rebecca still in the military in Brazil. Also a youngster at home as well. Great for Talita. Turns the ball back with the upper body. Great patience from Taiana, actually, sorry. The ball's into the net band, and what she does really well there is just stay patient and solid with her balance. The offense was a really good turn back as well. Brazilian coaching staff once again voicing their support. Ana Patricia not fully vertical in the air, they're just leaning around, but at 6'4", she can almost afford to lose a little bit of height. Ana Patricia, Rebecca, well, they lost their opening game to Kim Behrens and Sandra Ittlinger. They've done this the hard way. Ittlinger Behrens off to a good start, not quite, couldn't carry that consistency through the whole tournament, not like Behrens' old partner Sinja Tillman playing with Ittlinger's old partner Chantal Laboria. They're in the semi-final at the expense of Australia today. Ana Patricia, another error out the back, but then the team in yellow have come past the Czech Republic, Poland and Cuba as well, and the Cubans have had such an impressive event here. 2 teams in the top 10, one of the teams winning the pool. But with Cuba, you know, we don't see them very often, but when we do see them on the World Tour, they're effective. More errors from Ana Patricia, the passing and setting. The key skills of this game. Better control from Ana Patricia. Great swing from her as well. Passing has such an effect on spiking. You have to pass well to be efficient consistently at the net. Yes, teams are working more and more nowadays on out-of-system spiking because the service pressure is just so high. Ana Patricia, Rebecca. Well, they had a fantastic victory in The Hague at the 4-star event back in 2019. The Zuida Park indoors. That was their first win at a 4-star level, but they backed it up with a win at the Xiamen 4-star. The problem is after that, they've gone a few events in a row without a win. 12 to be exact, so they won 2 in a row. And then they've gone 12 without a victory. Yes, they've still had podiums. Xinjiang, Ostrava. Great event, Austria. Sorry, Ostrava. Stad, another great event. And Spino. That's at the World Tour Finals in Rome. But they would love to get back on the top of the podium because by their standards and the way that this partnership started, it's been a while for them. Well, they go on the most experienced player on court, and the most experienced player on court just goes off the hands. Nothing too rushed, nothing, because that ball is dropping way inside, isn't it? Maybe a bit of wind off the ocean, but you can see it on that picture there that the ball wants to be dropping right over the strongest shoulder because then you can dictate it. As soon as the ball moves away from that hitting window, you sort of become the court. There's some arguments here. Talita getting stuck in. Looking for the ball mark, I think. Oh, it looks like sand has gone over the tape, in which case that's out. But if the ball hits the tape, then it's in. That's as simple as it is. From here, it's difficult to see, but you can maybe understand why the Brazilians in green had an issue with it. That one's gone long. And the only saving grace for Anna Patricia and Rebecca here is just the fact that they haven't served well. They're 4 points down, but surely this can't last forever. They have to up the consistency of their serving at some point. Wider play, Anna Patricia leaning in the air, but she can get away with it. As we said earlier, 6'4", leaning, hammering the line. Bump set with width. Blocks on the angle. Late to the line from Taiana Lima, but nope. Talita. Scurrying everywhere. But the consistency from this more experienced team, well, it's golden. Combined age of 50 for the team in yellow. 27, Rebecca and Anna Patricia, 23. In system, but another block. The ball's blowing off the net. Underneath it is Anna Patricia. And the more experienced Brazilian team in green, combined age of 74. Well, it doesn't matter. It's just a number. And in beach volleyball, experience is everything. The softness of the sand means that it's quite forgiving on the body, and players can play to a later stage than what you'd see in other sports. And it is the more experienced team that have started very well. Delightfully well, to be exact. Don't look happy in there, do they, Anna Patricia, Rebecca? Need to turn those frowns upside down. Well, this is the fourth quarterfinal, and it feels as if it hasn't quite lived up to the expectation as of yet. But there's a long way to go. Great high line from Rebecca to get us back underway. Just turning the ball away from the defender all the time, Rebecca. She has great vision and also great execution in there. A really good arm. She can go one way, she can go the other way. No matter if her approach line's changing, she can always turn the ball the opposite way to where the body is sending. That's Taiana trying to do exactly the same thing, and just dictating the net is Anna Patricia, and they're back to 3. They need a break. They need something to go their way here. That's a good start. Trying to chip over the top. There's a delay in the timing of the block. Instead of pushing over, she goes straight up to try and swat it. It's exactly what she does. She catches a hat on the way as well. Passing off the net. Ball's inside. Trying to hack it back to the line. Taiana Lima. Wider set. Hammer long. Okay. This game has just got very interesting because a slow start with poor serving from the team in yellow. It's just turned on the sixpence, and there's a timeout from Talita, Taiana Lima. They're feeling the heat here in Cancun in more ways than one. Well, better late than never for Anna Patricia and Rebecca. God, they were a bit late to the party, weren't they? But they're here now, and that's the main thing. (16-14) turns to 16-15 with an absolute rocket from Rebecca. In system, from the middle, turned back to the angle from Taiana. It's a really good swing. Technically difficult to show a lot of line, almost a rotation in the air to show the line before turning it back to the angle. You can just see Rebecca's tuning in to the upper body of Taiana before she turns it late and quick. Block. Out. Close, but no cigar for Talita, Taiana. Taiana from the right side. Shots back angle. Great break from Patricia. What a scoop that is from Rebecca as well. From the inside. It's another great read from Rebecca. 2 in a row from the defender. And then it's a deep swing and the scores are tied once more. Well, it's taken them a while, isn't it? And they've got their act together at 17 all. It's a serving into the breeze that's doing damage from Rebecca. That one's gone a little bit too long, but they'll be okay with it. Because momentum is still in their favor, to be honest, for the younger Brazilian side. They started so poorly. There wasn't much between them in the timeout booth earlier on in this set, but at the same time, they've worked at it. They've worked hard, and they found their service rhythm, and they're right back in the mix here. It's turned away with the wrist by Patricia. Well, something's going on here. Could be a foot fault from the serve. Nina Hoby on top of absolutely everything up there. One point in the lead. Taiana serving. And that run in 2013 was certainly the highlight of Taiana's career. 8 career wins for her on the World Tour. 5 of them with Talita, but that's Rebecca doing what she does best. Good scoop from Rebecca. 2 in a row for Rebecca. Jumbo, no tomahawk. Well read from Taiana as well. This to bring up set point, and that's a really good angle through the body with a little bit of whip on it as well. Chasing that one down is Rebecca, but it was almost too good. She was in a great spot, but you have to give the spiker the swing if it lands within a couple of inches of the sideline. First set point. 3-time Olympian Talita to serve from the right side. Cool, calm, and collective. We go into overtime in set number 1 of this women's quarterfinals. Who's going to be going through to the semi-final to meet Agatha and Duda? It's going to be an all-Brazilian affair, but there's a lot of work left in this one to see who goes through. Second set point now for Talita and Taiana. Taiana from Fortaleza. We'll serve Taiana from Fortaleza. We'll just wipe off the hands of Patricia as well. Well, Rebecca has had to side out a few times in a row. Here's the opportunity. Talita, legend of the game, 34 wins on the World Tour, looking to make it 35. Well, they've got off to a very, very strong start here. 22-20. So a couple of legends of the game, Taiana Lima and Talita and Chinez, have taken the first. 22-20. Rebecca and Anna Patricia. Well, one would say they have a little bit of work to do to get back into this one. Well, they've had a couple of 3 setters already. Once against Poland. Trojsek, Kocholek, won 15-6 in the last. They were very impressive in that third set. They served really well, actually. They put Poland under the cosh from the off. And then against Cuba as well, 15-10 in the last. So, last 2 games have gone to 3. It's pretty tough because as we approaching the midday time here in Cancun, it does get fairly warm. Second set underway. It's the final quarterfinal here in the wonderful Cancun. This hub is quite the spectacle. Rebecca serving. From the inside, cutting back on the angle. Opportunity for Rebecca. Not taken. Really dynamic from Taiana. Something's off the net there. Unsure what it was, but then it's Rebecca that gives him a 2-point lead already. That's exactly the start they needed coming into this second set, was just to start applying some pressure. Every cloud has a silver lining. And maybe losing that first set will give Anna Patricia, Rebecca, the kick they need as we have a little look in Cancun. Still so much wind. That's a great picture of just seeing how breezy it is. Their team's training on the outside courts. Is different situation here because of the hub, and there's another competition coming in a few days. It means that teams are staying and training and around the facility more. Usually teams will be leaving the venue as soon as the competition is over, but no, we have another 2. Talita. Jump float serve into the net. Going risk for reward. Trying to keep that ball flat and close to the top of the net band to try and speed up the service and the time it takes to get onto the passing platform. 2-ball. Trying to push Anna Patricia tactically. But no, Anna Patricia and Rebecca are equal to it. And this is a different game in this second set. Turns it back to the angle. 2 Brazilians in the same zone, which is absolutely fine when you're playing off reading the game. Talita, outrageous. Dynamic. And the arm comes right the way through the ball. Smooth as you like. Still 2 points though behind. Rebecca passing off the net, so she's not going to have the same options. It's a really good decision to hit the breaking block. Exactly the same decision from the team in green. It's a lot of work on moving defenders and blockers, trying to hit people or players as they're moving. First change of ends hit. Actually, it was a break of block into the angle. Got that one wrong. It was Rebecca that stepped around into the line. Touch was too fast, though. Under pressure the whole way through. A lot of the players staying on to watch. 1 point game. Too long, though. You can see in the background the Beach Volley Vikings having a little look at the score because they're next up in here. Swing that just goes wide of the mark for Sorum. Up next against Guto and Arthur. The men's quarterfinal. Should be some spectacle because Guto and Arthur have been on great form. Only Brazilian team left in the last 8. Alisson Alvaro taking 17th place, same as Bruno Vandre. Very short but well seen. Knuckle on 2. Great positioning, good awareness from Rebecca. This is a Jekyll and Hyde performance, really, from the team in yellow. They started to get back into the game in the opener. There's a timeout coming from Taiana and Talita, rightfully so, because now it's their turn to be under pressure. Chance to recover. But at this moment in time, it looks like we are going to 3 here to see who will be playing Agatha and Duda in the semi-final later on. Rebecca serving. She's done a wonderful job of it. Oh, missed by a whisker from Rebecca. Big collision with the top of the net. Sometimes those ones go for you, sometimes they go against you, but just shows how aggressive she's serving. She comes out after the timeout and she doesn't take any pace off the serve. Anyway, team in green, their chance to apply some pressure now. They're back to 3. Great timeout for them, but Anna Patricia's breaking work at this moment in time has been really effective. Taiana is back on 1. It's Ludwig-esque. Something that so many of the teams are doing. If they're in a stable position and they have time and the control to do it, then absolutely, why not? Great reactions from Rebecca. It really was almost like a forehand in tennis from the left side. That's a rash swing. Saw that from Duda, didn't we, in the previous game? Really trying to hit the ball into the wind, trying to make a dip and do a little bit. And no. Okay, interesting for Anna Patricia. That is potentially one of the best swings of the day because she's passed off the net. She has to kick out and drive back in towards the ball and to still give herself that deep angled swing. Superb. Line approach with the cut shot. Taiana Lima, we've seen that from you time and time again, and it's got Rebecca sussed every time. She steps round on it, but it was too good. It really was. Look at that, straight on the line. That is not easy. To stay that high and to generate the spin and the turn back on the ball. Scurrying. Knuckle, but Anna Patricia, anything tied is all going to be Anna Patricia here. 6'4", you've got to make every inch count. Taiana Lima on the floor. Looking at the floor now. The body language tells us everything. As they say, the devil is in the details. Off the outside hand of Anna Patricia, and this is a dream second set here. Already used a timeout, the team in green, but the set is close, and every time was very difficult for Taiana in there. Just been set under a bus, second time in a row, has to lift it, but waiting on the turn. Anna Patricia, but it's long. back to 4. It's almost a role reversal from the opening set. In a good spot, though. Anna Patricia, but moving into the line with aggression in the hands. Fire in the booth from the legend that's Talita. And maybe that's just going to change, because when you get blocked, there's a potential loss of confidence. Taiana reads it so well. A softer swing. A bit of time for Taiana to get across. There's a little bit of transition. And 2 points in a row. A block and a defensive play has brought them right back into this. The technical timeout is coming after this point, and there's going to be fireworks. Well, it's a 3-point lead. It's a great swing, a clutch play at a really, really crucial time. There's a difference between 1 point and 3 points between the teams, and Patricia had to put that one to bed, and she did it really, really well off the hat and out of play. Well, there you go. Technical timeout has come around once more here in Cancun to see who plays Agatha Duda in the semi-final. Ice on the neck to recover. It's been really warm, especially around midday here. And the news coming in is, well, we don't know yet. It hasn't happened, but 3 of our 4 semi-finalists have been confirmed. But the 5th most decorated player of all time, Talita Antunes, 34 World Tour wins, is, well, they did have 1 foot in the semi-final. Team in green, there is Talita. It goes out of play, but looks as if we're going to 3 here. Talita above the likes of, well, tied with Shelder in 5th place. Adriana in 7th. April Ross is on that list. Kerry Walsh-Jennings is 2nd with 56 career wins, and you wouldn't put it past her. She's 6 behind Larissa. You just wouldn't put it past her to keep going in her career until she gets that record. It'd be very difficult for anyone other than her to ever beat it now. Take something very special. This is a problematic time for Taiana and Talita. It's not going their way. Really great step in that overhand defense from Rebecca. They're really dialed into what they're doing. It's a different team to the opener. They've got the wind in their sails now. Great passing. Talita turns it back, and that's the magic. Is in the pass with that tempo into a great zone. Great scoop. Great work with the setting from Taiana. She gets right the way around the ball to the target. Really balanced and extends with the arms. Paints a really nice picture for the spiker to get their rhythm off of. This time Taiana from the left side. Back on 1. Great knuckle from Talita. That's an absolute worldie. But chance, Anna Patricia. Oh no, Taiana. What a rally that one is. A bit unorthodox, a little bit scrappy at times. But the old swat on 1 from Anna Patricia does a bit of delightful work for her team. Spin serve, standing spin serve. Maybe conserving some energy, because Anna Patricia has to run in, get back off, and then she's realizing the next play is coming. Rebecca is in great form, isn't she? You can feel it. She's really communicating well. She's starting to tag lines. Her arms working really well. Spiking wise, she's turning it. And Rebecca is still dialed in with that set and is back on one. Well, it's a taste of their own medicine for Anna, Patricia, and Rebecca. Taiana and Talita sending a message back on one. The recovery setting from Rebecca, world class, but good initiative from the team in green. Short serving on Anna Patricia. Bump cutty. In or out. It's out. It's one of those things that's... Well, it's a beautiful thing if it goes in the reverse bump cutty. It's a thing of joy. But if you miss it, not so good. Well, the good news for Rebecca and Anna Patricia is that they can still afford a couple of errors, although they would rather get this set over and done with. There's another error. That's 2 in succession, and look who's had to call a timeout. Anna Patricia and Rebecca have had everything their own way in this second set. They really have played well. But they can see the finish line now, and things have maybe just got a little bit tougher for them. Pressure is on them now. Some highlights of a really entertaining matchup here on the FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour as Brazil versus Brazil in the quarterfinals to see who will play Brazil in the semis. The highlights cut back to the live footage where Rebecca's just poured one back and opened up the 4-point lead. It's a really good timeout from Brazil. They've really used it well. Taiana also playing smart there, accessing the line on the right side. It's not the easiest thing to do. Ball has to come. It's a back set. It's fantastic work from Taiana Lima. And then the difference was just 2. They're at the good end here, Brazil. And they have a real opportunity to claw this second set back. Absolute rocket from Taiana. Wide set. Anna Patricia. Oh, we could have a little bit of a tear up here because Anna Patricia thought that one was in. Great setting in the inside and it's turned back with speed. It's so close. Love to have a closer look at that one, but does look like the point has gone the way of the young Brazilians. Surely it's still just a little bit too far for the team in green. No, maybe not. Still 2 behind, but there's a lot of work to do. A miss serve comes at the perfect time for Anna Patricia and Rebecca. The worst possible time if you're Taiana and Talita. Two will do it to send us to a third and final set. Taiana to target, something straight into the breeze from Rebecca. It's a great bit of defense. She sat so still, stable and calm with the arms, and there you have it. The set point has come up. They've been dominant throughout. They lost their stronghold on this second set throughout the mid phase, but since the timeout, it was a fantastic timeout. They have been full flow and full throttle as well. Sitting again, Rebecca's made 2 or 3 defensive plays that have been magical. Talita just turns it back late with the upper body. You can see where it's going, but at the same time, can you stop it? Absolutely not. Well, they need a stop here. Second set point. And Patricia from the left side goes through the seam between the blocker and the defender. We are going to 3 here in Cancun. What a game as well. The first set telling us one story. The second set telling us quite another story. Nothing between the 2 teams. But what we do know is a good start in set 3 is going to be key for both. That's how it finished. Looks as if it was through the seam, but the block went into the angle very late and the line was open. That's a volley over. As long as the shoulders are parallel, that's absolutely fine. You're facing the way that the ball's going. Well, the teams change ends every 5 points just to make fair of the conditions in the final set. I'm really just surprised to see how this one has gone. Taiana Lima and Talita were solid in the opener, weren't they? It looked like they couldn't be broken. It looked like we had a potential winner. But now, starting to look a bit jaded. Passing and setting was okay. 50% jump on the swing and a roll to the line is good enough to score on this occasion. Bump setting. Anna Patricia, great knuckle from the right side. And the short pokey from Talita. Okay, just as you feel that this game is going one way, of course it does. It's just what volleyball does to you in general. One way, and then another. 2 playing defense. The back set is a good one. Anna Patricia just running the ball around a little bit. Makes it increasingly difficult for the blocker and the defender. It's great press into the angle, but the line's maybe a little bit too inside from Talita. But anyway, that was such a good swing on a sharp angle that it would have been difficult to play against anyway. Ball's off the net. Really variable game, beach volleyball. Free ball this time. Surely Talita brings this back to 1, and she does. It's Talita with the setting as Taiana with the hammer. Deep breaths. Time out. This time it's from the team in yellow. Great decision. Just to stop the momentum building for the team in green. This has been valiant effort by both sides in this quarterfinal match, but tiredness creeping in. It's 1 o'clock local time in Cancun, hottest time of the day. Brutal out there for these players, especially in 3. And yesterday, some of the teams had 3 games in the day. For Phil Dowhauser and Nick Lee Center, they play 3 3-setters. Ouch. Having a look at Sam Pedlo's Instagram post earlier in the week. The amount of calories, well in over 1,000 per game that you're burning. Some of these players are having to eat 4,000 calories a day just to break par and to be even. Back to the action here, though. Great shot of the scores just evening out. And you can see how much of this game is a psychological battle. 5 minutes ago, even in this set, Anna, Patricia and Rebecca, well, they had full flow in what they were doing. They were well in the zone, but now they've been pushed and pulled out of that zone. Anna, Patricia from the left side. High off the hands. That's, well, lots of different ways to skin a cat, but for Anna Patricia, maybe the easiest way to skin a cat is to stay high because she has the height advantage and she can go over the block. We've seen that tactic before. Anna Patricia penetrating through to the net, and fellow Brazilians just understanding that situation, taking advantage of it. Tight again. Exactly the same concept. Anna Patricia knows that if she's in rhythm, she can just go over Talita's block, and it's pretty smart. Doesn't have to do too much to flash. Extraordinary passing, setting, precision, accuracy from Taiana. Guido Arthur up against the Beach Volley Vikings next on the show court. Short on Rebecca. 7-0. It's tight. This is Talita's ball. Bit scrappy. Second opportunity. Rebecca from the outside. Cuddy is a good one. Too fast. I mean, Taiana has been speedy back there, hasn't she? But Rebecca and Patricia have the lead at the change of ends. Oh, it's over on one. And it's these sorts of situations that could possibly define this game. It's a quick touch. And Lady Luck is on the side of Talita and Taiana on that occasion, because looked on course for the net, but it takes a big deflection off the net band. Oh, crushing blow. You don't see Rebecca get too feisty on that ball too many times, but she shows she's got the lot, Rebecca. Both Brazilian teams making each other move all the time. It's a fantastic serve. Yes, there's not much lick on it, but it's short. It's into a good zone. And Talita really has to work hard to get an approach, and they bring the ball underneath the block of Anna Patricia by serving the short ball. Turn to the line. Great reply. Maybe Talita's thinking, hey, I could have done that the last time. Cross line, high contact, smooth arm, right the way through to the target. Well, Taiana going full send from behind the baseline. For them now, they really have to weather the storm if they want to go through to the semis. As we said, they've had some brilliant results as of late. 3 top 10 finishes in a row, 2 Final Fours. That second place in Moscow was fantastic. That one's gone straight. What a great recovery that one is, but no. Hopefully Anna Patricia's okay. Players looking fairly tired out there now. The midday heat. Be interesting to see the Beach Volley Vikings up next against Brazil. Brazil will feel confident in these hot midday conditions. Not very Norwegian out there. And Patricia padding the ball to the middle. Taiana has to use every ounce of energy, and we're back to 11-all. Nothing between these two teams, eye to eye throughout this one. Rebecca's in to block Anna Patricia, not used to playing any defense, just running down the line. Good vision from Taiana all the same to avoid. Anna Patricia. In or out? In. Still a couple of big factors that are going to define this. Is who's at the good end at the moment. It's the team in yellow, Anna Patricia and Rebecca. For another 2 points. They'll be very happy if they can go down to the weaker end with match point. But Taiana might have an opportunity to open up a 2-point lead here. Great break from Talita. Tight setting is good because there's no block, and it's a great decision. The ball is blowing on there from the set as well with the wind behind it, but it's almost like a quick knuckle into the head region of Anna Patricia. 12-12. And now the game has just turned again, because if the Brazilians win this one, they go to the good end with the advantage and with the serve. That's really beneficial. Cut shot is seen. Massive opportunity for Taiana, but no. Rebecca on 2. The control is sublime. To go on 2 there, Anna Patricia is tired. Taking the responsibility herself onto Rebecca with the jumbo over line. What a game this one is. Whoever wins, well, what a great result. They get to play again. But they have to play again in this heat.